Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Jerry and I'm hailing you from the Antares shipyard. And today we are going to be doing another re-review video. This time we're going to be looking at the U.S.S. Venture from Wave 25. This is the only unique blister pack from Wave 25, as the other two ships that were released during this wave were repaints and reprints of an older ships. So without further ado, let's jump right on into it. Starting off with the namesake of the pack, we have the U.S.S. Venture, a Galaxy Class 4154. Tech, 2 weapon slots, 2 crew slots, coming in at 28 points. You have your standard Federation action bar, and then the text is, if you attack a ship that is in the forward firing arc of another friendly ship, you gain +1 attack dice. Well, +1 attack die. So I actually like this ability for the Venture. I love that it's passive. It's not an action. The Venture is definitely a ship that relies on you bringing other ships in your fleet, which you are going to do, especially if you're playing at the standard 130 SP point build with 50 only being on a ship. That means you have to bring more than one ship. So you're bringing at least 3 ships to a battle. So the Venture, locking in with that, knowing that, is a very good option for those people who want to bring a higher built battleship type build. The Venture is definitely right up the alley there. So we've got the generic Galaxy class here, 4153. You got a weapon slot and 3 crew slots, so you lose the tech slots. You got the standard Federation action bar here. The one thing I want to draw attention to is the costing. So this is the original card that came in the pack. So that's the costing's at 26 points. But thanks to more recent faction packs, I'm going to show the next card, and the Galaxy class has actually been recosted down to 22 points. So that is a 4-point savings there. So this version of the generic is 22 points. So it has been errated that way. It has been recosted. Utopia, the Angry Triple version of Utopia, reflects that. So you can use that as a resource. I know it's daunting to remember all these recostings, but which I try to make it as simple as I can over on Utopia. So we get into the captain of the pack, which is Donald Varley. He's a skill 4, got an elite talent slot, cost of 3 points. Your ship may perform a scan action as a free action each round. So he gives you the ability to do a scan action, so you can pair him with people like Beta Hirogen, who gives you an extra scan token when you do a scan action. The thing here that you have to remember with Donald Varley is he is actually doing the action. So if you do the scan action as a free action, that does not mean you get to do it again as an action. The wording is key on this one. If it were your ship may place a scan token besides your ship each round, then that would be different. However, it is perform the action. So since you're performing the action, you can't, again, go off and do the action itself. As some of you may know, Donald Varley is not the actual captain of the Venture. The crew and the captain of the Venture was never shown on screen, just the ship in Deep Space Nine. Donald Varley was the captain of the U.S.S. Yamato from the episode in TNG where the Yamato was infected with an Iconian virus, and the Enterprise met up with it before it exploded into a million pieces. You've got your generic Federation captain. I decided to include this just in case anybody's using these videos to kind of figure out which cards came in which set. This is the generic Federation captain that came in this set. So we got an elite talent that comes in the set here. You've got the Galaxy Wing Squadron, cost of 5. Action: discard this card to target all friendly Galaxy class ships within range 1 to 2. Target ships gain +1 attack die this round. Again, I think my thoughts and opinions on 5-point discards, 5-point action discards, I should say, on this channel are very well known at this point. I am not a fan of the action discard for 5 points. I know what this card is doing, and I understand why it's a discard, but 5 points for one die um, for all ships within range, for all Galaxy class ships within range 1 to 2 is way too expensive. This would be better off as maybe a 3 point card, um, and maybe it be not an action, but a combat phase, start of combat phase effect rather. You know, uh, at the start of the combat phase, discard this card to target all friendly Galaxy class ships within range 1 to 2, and target ships gain +1 attack die that round at a 3 point. That wording I can understand and get behind better than I can this. Not a terrible card, just not a card that I think would get a lot of use or does get a lot of use. It's hard to really fit a couple more than 2 galaxies into a fleet, depending on the size that you and your opponent agree on. Some of those bigger battles, maybe it might be worth it at that point. Where we're talking like 400 points versus 400 points. Outside of that, I don't. It's outside of that, I don't really see much play. It's definitely not a tournament level type card, and that's okay. But that's kind of my feelings on it. So, moving to the next one, additional phaser arrays. Cost of 5. After you make an attack with your primary weapon, you may disable this card to make an additional attack with your primary weapon at -2 attack dice. No ship may be equipped with more than one additional phaser arrays upgrade. So this card was obviously made before some of the icons and things are being used, so the iconography is not correct. But this would have the 1 per ship limitation up in the corner. This card, I think, this is another perfect example of it's not a action discard. It's not a discard, but sitting at 5 points. This card, I believe, earns its stripes at 5 points. And the reason I say that is because it is 1 per ship, and it allows you to make a second attack. Yes, that second attack comes at -2 attack dice, but if you are... I've seen it in plenty of tournament play, I should say, that at the tournament level type of play, the high level play, you see this card a lot, because a Galaxy class ship's attack is padded, or a ship that has this card, their attack stats are padded. So yes, the Galaxy class has 4 attack dice. You minus, so that your first attack, you can have 4 attack dice. And then, on top of that, because of rule of 3, the maximum amount of dice you can use is 7 for that attack. So then you've disabled this card to do another attack, and your primary weapon is now considered 2. And you still, with rule of 3, can push that up to 5. So we're talking your first attack is 7 attack dice, and that's not including range bonus. So you could get up to 8 attack dice. So between 7 and 8 attack dice on the first attack, and then between 5 and 6 on that second attack. So it may seem like that -2 attack dice is a detriment to this card, but it truly is not. So I think 5 for the point cost on this is fine because of the way I've seen it be used. I think to keep it in balance sake, that's what you want, especially if you've got 3 ships rolling around with additional phaser arrays on it, because it is 1 per ship, so it's not limited by the amount you can have on a fleet. Yeah, that's my overall thoughts and feelings on this card. This pack, the blister pack for the U.S.S. Venture, is very hard to find, mainly because of this card. So we got a copy of Photon Torpedoes, and this is the actual copy of the Photon Torpedoes from this pack. Again, including this, just in case anybody's using these videos to kind of divvy out their sets or figure out which card belongs to which set. So it's an attack value of 5, range 2 to 3, cost of 5. Spin your target lock and place 3 time tokens on this card to perform this attack. You may convert one of your battle station results into a crit result, and you may fire this weapon from your forward or rear firing arcs. Again, this has been updated now. There's a better version of Photon Torpedoes out there for the Federation. I highly recommend using those over this. Yeah, I'm not going to really say much more about it. So we got a tech that is also, I believe, a reprint from the core set. Yeah, maximum warp. Action. If you perform a forward maneuver this round, you may disable this card to immediately perform an additional forward maneuver with a speed of 2 or less. You cannot perform any free actions this round, and this is a cost of 5. Okay, so this is another action. This is an action disable at 5 points. There's a lot of there's a lot of cards in the game today that allow you the ability to do extra movement. So I think Maximum Warp was one of those cards back in the day that was used in this particular sense. However, those newer cards have kind of outclassed Maximum Warp. So this is definitely one of those cards I would classify as needing rework, reword, and then a cost difference. Keeping the wording as it is, I could see it being a 2 to 3 point card, leaning towards 3. I think if you could reword it, it'll definitely help in the future. The next tech in this pack is High Capacity Deflector Shield Grid. If you have at least one active shield during the compare results step, you may discard this card to negate up to 2 damage. No ship may be equipped with more than 1. So again, this is 1 per ship. Coming in at 5 points though. Again, the points are hard. They're high in this pack. So I think this is probably a 3-point card, considering there are cards out there that cost less that do more. This card, you discard this card to get rid of 2 damage pretty much. So I think coming in at 3 points is probably right where this card should be. I don't think it needs to have its wording fixed, maybe just cleaned up a little bit. Obviously the iconography on it. The next card in this pack is Computer Core. You can fill a crew or weapon upgrade slot with this upgrade and add 1 tech upgrade to the upgrade bar. Action, you may re-roll any 1 die this round, coming in at 5 points. Again, very expensive for what it does. Essentially, you're allowed to place the computer core as a crew or a weapon. You put it in those slots, and it gives you a tech slot. So if you're trying to load a couple extra tech on a ship, and you have a leftover weapon slot or crew slot that you're not going to use, you can put computer core on it to give you that slot. However, it is very expensive. To me, honestly, this is probably a 2 to 3 point card. I'm kind of leaning towards 2 points, to be completely honest with you. The action kind of hurts it. It's not an action that you're going to do very often, because you may do the action and then you get to reroll any 1 die this round. It's harder to kind of predict those future when you're going to need it, I should say. It's hard to predict when you're going to need it, and the fact that it's an action kind of cuts it off. If it wasn't an action and it was just a passive ability, like you may reroll 1 attack die for 1 attack this round, then maybe it'd be a 3-point card. I think at a 2-point card, you get the tech slot, and then you have the unpredictability of the action. Okay, so I believe that is the last card in the pack, and then we get into the missions. So, we do have a mission. This is a retail release. So this is the Galaxy Wing mission. Number of players is 2. The special components you need are a planet token and 8 mission tokens. The Federation Galaxy-class starships have played a major role in many of the battles in the Dominion War. Now there are a large number of them in the force headed to invade Cardassia Prime and capture the Dominion capital. So the second card, the Dominion player, you get 200 squadron points. The Federation Alliance player, you get 200 squadron points, including the U.S.S. Venture and at least 1 other Galaxy-class ship, and at least 2 ships with a hull value of 4 or less. No ship in this fleet may have a hull value of more than 5. This mission is played on a 36 by 60 play area. Place the planet token centered east to west so that there is exactly 8 inches between it and the northern edge of the play area. The player is then set up as in a standard 2-player game. So you're getting an elongated table on this one, definitely getting more room to play, and the planet token has to be within range 2 away from the northern edge. And of course, the Dominion are going to be lining up on that northern edge, and the Federation on the southern edge, getting prepared to do a joust. So 200 squadron points for both fleets. The Dominion are not limited to the hull size or the value of the hull on their side, so they could bring battleships, battle cruisers, attack ships, Cardassian Gallers, Keldons, and even Breen if you wanted to. If you wanted to make this more thematic and canon. Now, for the Federation side, you can bring Galaxy class. You have to bring at least 2 Galaxy class ships. You could bring a Defiant. You can bring Miranda class, Akira class, Saber class. You could throw a Prometheus class in there if you wanted to, although none of those were ever seen on screen in Deep Space Nine, I don't believe. I think that was a Voyager show, even though it was happening during the Dominion War. Trying to think of what other Intrepid class that was in there. I think I pretty much hit them. You can try an Oberth if you really felt froggy, but those are the ways to make your game feel more thematic. The special rules. So the Galaxy Wing Squadron. Each of the Galaxy class ships and the Federation Alliance players may be equipped with the Galaxy Wing Squadron Elite Talent upgrade, regardless of whether that ship's captain has a Elite Talent icon on his or her card. In addition, when using the Galaxy Wing Squadron, disable the card instead of discarding it. Invading Cardassia Prime. When a ship in the Federation Alliance player's fleet is within range 1 to 2 of the planet token, it may use the following action. Action. Discard up to 2 of your crew upgrades and place a mission token on the planet token for each crew upgrade you discarded with this action. Capturing the Dominion capital. At the end of the end phase, each round after the first round, the Federation Alliance player rolls 1 attack die for each mission token on the planet. If at least 3 hit results are rolled, the Dominion capital has been captured. The Dominion capital is automatically captured if there are ever 8 mission tokens on the planet token at the start of any end phase. Objectives. Dominion player. You win if you destroy all of the Federation Alliance player's ships. Federation Alliance player. You win if you capture the Dominion capital. Either at least 3 hit results are rolled at the end of the end phase, or if there are 8 mission tokens on the planet token at the start of any end phase. Alternatively, you win if you destroy all of the Dominion player's ships. So, a very cool mission to play. Very strategic thinking. You could definitely load up some ships with a bunch of crew and try and get as many crew on the planet as possible within a round. If you've got 4 ships with 2 crew on them each, and you all arrive at Cardassia at the same time, and you all take the action, no matter if the Dominion destroy you or not, you win at the end. So there is a nice little strategy to bum rush the planet and put as many crew on the planet as possible. So with that is Wave 25, the U.S.S. Venture. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and a little bit of commentary on this. Please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. More content will be coming. And of course, share this video on Facebook. Share it on Board Game Geek. Share it with anybody who might be new to Attack Wing that's looking to purchase ships. If you can find the Venture, it is probably worth picking up for the right price. So until next time, I will see you around the shipyard.